Look at my mind flowing in time. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Thank you for joining. But since it's not a lot of people in quite yet, or if they come in, I'm grateful. I was thinking back in my childhood how, when the class used to be disruptive, the teacher used to make us write the definition of respect. And so I don't know if it's a long definition now, but it was a long definition back then. It just seemed like you could write that definition forever and it just never stopped. That was a long definition, respect. It was crazy. I also, the reason why I thought of that was because the song Aretha Franklin keeps popping up in my head. Peace and blessings for everyone coming in. Prayerly, thank you for coming through, Queen. And I've been singing it lately. I know y'all know Aretha Franklin song. What you want? Baby, I got it. What you need? I got it. And all I'm asking is for a little respect when you get home. Hey, baby, when you get home. But she says something in that song, and as small as it is, I just wonder all the time, how do we define these words to us? Yes, Queen, I've been singing that song. And the question is, respect. Find out what it means to me, right? And what does respect mean to you? I'll give mine. And I know it's a part of the definition, but I like this term better. What I understand is a lot of us, we use terms, and based upon our own impression in life, we visualize those terms according to, right? Well, with respect, to me, is honor. Respect is honor. It's always good to try to figure out what these words and terms actually mean to us, define them for ourselves, get a perfect image for ourselves, so that we can carry on with this understanding. And hold on just a second. Okay. And so with respect, with honor, we got a lot of people in this world who walk around and they demand respect, right? They feel like it's something that is owed to them, whether it be, through title, through circumstances, through anything. You got managers feeling like, regardless of how they treat you, regardless of how you feel, or regardless of who you are in your life, you're supposed to give them this respect, this honor. To me, honor is something that, it's a transfer of things. I'm chosen. Thank you for coming through, Queen. Yes, you're driving, been here since. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Queen, for your support. I really appreciate it. And I just been thinking so much about, I'm chosen. I've been going through a lot of enlightenment and, my little journey and my little path, and wanting to share it with everyone. And, it's been a life-changing thing, and it's been in hopes that it helps with everyone else. I don't think that it's fair that, I go through something and not be able to share, what helped me through a lot, because it can be helpful to anybody. But with honor, or with respect, it's a value that I place on myself, and I'm coming to greater terms of it as well for myself. And it is something that I give to everyone to the best of my ability. We're not perfect, right? But we all learn and grow. And it's, you know, it's the honor that I see in myself is the honor that I want to see in everyone else. It's the honor that I see in everyone else. Here's the funny thing that people fail to understand. And I was just talking about it with sis. Nothing is a secret. Nobody has a secret. Everything is already known. Everything is already seen. People are trying to hide things, but it's already seen. It's already known. You can't hide anything. And I had to come to terms with myself, like, I'm not hiding anything. If there is a discovery that needs to be sought from me, I think whoever seeketh will find it. They know, right? And I'm okay with that because I don't live in secret. I like being honest with myself. I like being honest with my feelings. I like being it's so much easier. It's freeing to be honest. Here's the thing. We got a lot of people in our lives who do things hiding themselves, taking advantage and not necessarily being honorable to themselves or to you. Okay. And what they do is they find something within you that they can attach to, and then they utilize that for their own malicious intent, for their own selfishness, especially if you have a heart. You start to have, people holding on to your heartstrings, and they create situations and things and for to themselves, and or they can do things towards you, and because you care, they they can manipulate a situation for you to interfere with the lessons that they need to learn, to interfere with with the consequences that they have to endure because of the injustice that they have done, not only to themselves but to everyone else, and maybe even including you. I went through this lesson just recently, and what I've learned is you got to get out of the way. You got to move out of the way. See, we fall so much into our heart where we have this misunderstanding of love that we gotta be there. Yeah, it can be the simple things too, Pearly Queen. Yes, we gotta be there because we care. People can do things to us. People can do things to themselves on purpose without caring, without having any regret or without having any concern of any consequences whatsoever. And most of it is because they feel that you are going to be there to endure with them. No, you got to get out of the way, because what is coming for them, it can affect you. When you're trying to get to your purpose, when you're trying to get to your blessings, they're causing distractions because they know what you have coming is definitely yours. What you have coming is something that they can't come with. It's something that they can't enjoy unless it's with you. But you're never going to get it with them on you, with them around you. Terry, thank you for coming through, King. Peace and blessings. And the universe is telling us, Source Almighty is telling us, you're getting in the way of what I'm feeling. See, the hurt that has been caused to you, I'm trying to deliver justice, and you in the way because you call yourself caring. You call yourself being responsible. You call yourself being obligated. And you got to back up. You got to get out of the way so this person can learn the lessons they need to learn. So this person can endure what they need to endure. You're hindering their growth. And as long as you stand next to them, you're going to start to feel all of the effects because you're not learning for yourself to understand that your blessing is right after getting out of the way. Your purpose is right there in front of you. And you're allowing them to detour you with something they did to you purposely. Because you want to seem kind-hearted or you want to forgive. What we don't understand is this is the abuse. When you hear that in your mind telling you, well, you know, I do care about them. I do love them. They're my friend. They're my partner. You know, these my people and everything like that. See, that was all of the manipulation. That was all of the deceit. That was all of the abuse, all of the tactics that was used upon you time after time after time after time. So when this moment comes, because of you being abused, because of your heartstrings being pulled and tugged at, you're going to stand right there in the line of fire. And the effects that they feel won't be so much because you allowed yourself to take on some of that hardship for them. You've allowed yourself to take on some of that struggle because in your mind, you know what you're capable of. You know your strengths. You know where you're going. You're trying to stay focused and you don't realize that that's pulling you out of focus. You feel like you can get right back too because you can handle it. But what you're failing to understand is you're pushing your purpose away. Every instant, every moment, it doesn't matter how small the situation is, how big the situation is. Everybody is here to learn. And when you enable somebody from learning, you enable reaping the benefits of your learning. You enable reaping the benefits of your harvest. You've worked hard for where you want to be. Don't let nobody take you off focus. Let no circumstance take you off focus. Because if they were concerned about your best interest or their own, they would have never done it in the first place. It is okay to love, but being abused, that's not love. Being a victim is not love. That's not love at all. You're being taken advantage of. They're not learning anything from it because they know that you are not going to leave. They know that you're not going to do anything. You know what they're saying? If I play along to get along, then they'll stand right here in the midst. And it'll be okay for me. Or it'll be better for me. And I can endure all the tantrums or, you know, the hurt feelings and anything of the sort, you know, until they start to feel better about it. You get what I'm saying? And as long as they stick around, they're going to miss the blessing anyway. So we don't even have to discuss it. As soon as you walk away, That's when you discover and you get more clarity about how somebody truly felt and their intentions. And it's because of the selfishness. Yeah, I want to be cool with you. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship with you. Yeah, I want to do all of these things. It's not because they wanted it with you. It's because they wanted what they wanted from you. And that's the reality. It sucks, but it's the truth. And as soon as you walk away and you let them endure the lessons that they need to learn, that is when you discover and you gain more clarity about the entire situation itself. How you were bamboozled and scammed into a situation that you never should have been involved in the first place. How you have allowed someone to manipulate you into feeling as if you're deserving of all the hardship and struggle that you went along with because of selfishness, love, what they call love, friendship, kindness. We in this world we have an understanding of kindness in such a victim mentality, of love in the victim mentality. I call it the abused wife. You know, finding a spot that hurts the least and getting comfortable with the abuse there. And so we don't have to worry about everything else because all of the other abuse that we were receiving, you know, that was painful, that was hurtful. We were able to identify it and get away from it. But the spot that hurts the least, we can deal with that. We can cope with that. We can move along with that. But see, the Almighty, the source is telling you, you don't have to deal with that either. You don't have to deal with none of it. You didn't deserve it because what you gave was not abuse. What you did was out of the pureness of your heart. What you deserve is the same thing. And to never stop looking until you find it. And to never settle, because settling is only finding the weakest, the spot that hurts the least. The spot that you can take the hits at because it hurts the least. No. None of that is fair. None of that is okay. And see, because you've been abused so long, because you have been battered with so many situations in your life, you're not realizing that the Almighty is telling you it's a boomerang effect that's getting ready to happen to this person for all of the hurt that they've caused upon you. And you standing right there next to them, and I'm trying to get you out of the way. You gotta move. If you love them, if you care about someone, you gotta let them feel it so that they can know, so that they can learn, because you felt it. You've had to learn. You've had to endure. This life is a school. It is a place where we learn, and there is nothing in this existence that is without a lesson. And when you start to hinder someone else's lessons, you hinder your own growth. You will repeat those very lessons because it was something out of that you had to learn. And this is the thing that you have to learn. You better get out the way. Ricochet, ricochet. I'm telling you, people, You got to get out of the way. And no matter how much it may hurt them, no matter how much it may affect them, they got to take what they gave out. They got to take what they dished out. And see, you got a lot of people who will try to make you feel as if, well, you were a part of it too. Because they done manipulated you into a situation. They done manipulated you into a circumstance. They done manipulated you into an understanding about something. And so they feel like with that, you are in agreement. No, but Source knows the truth, your intent, your heart. And they know that you've been played. They know that you've been a victim in this situation the entire time. And they're trying to tell you everything that you may feel like you're obligated to by standing next to this person because of the foolery that they have caused upon you and others. No, that's not your burdens to bear. You need to get out the way. And then once you get out the way, you start to see how much they haven't learned, how much they don't understand, and how much you were spending so much time seeing the hope, seeing the positive in them that they didn't even see within themselves. If you are listening to me right now, this is your confirmation. And you know what you need to get out of the way of. You better get out the way. Because it's coming. The effects that you may feel right now it's not the full effect. The full effect is going to destroy everything in its path. And it has a direct point that it's trying to get to. And anything around that point is going to feel the effects. You got to get out of the way. See, everybody has a right to learn. And some people have to learn harder than others. But that is not our duty to help those lessons become easier, especially to those who have caused harm in our own, who have caused a hindrance to reaping our blessings. You deserve everything that you worked for. You deserved everything that you have. You can't let nobody come in and mess up your spot for their own selfishness and greed. And then you continue to smile because you know that on the other side of this is something better. It is something so much more better. Y'all, I've been going through this journey, and let me tell you, situations and people will have you stuck in a box, making you feeling bound, convincing you to stay in this trap that they've placed you in. And see, I don't know, I know you guys seen my thumbnail with the man and his hands are in chains. And there's so many ways to break chains. But this is a powerful one right here, especially with the topic that we're discussing. Sometimes the greatest way to break a chain is to stop flexing your muscles. Relax, release, let go. And then you'll see that the chain that you thought you were bound in, it was an illusion. It's a chain that they're bound in. And that you are actually free. You have nothing holding on to you. except for the mental prison that you placed yourself in because of the situations that you've endured or may have felt as if you agreed upon by dealing with certain situations and certain people. These are not your doings. Thus, these are not your lessons that you have to feel from. These are not your consequences that you have to deal with. You better get out the way. We become, and this is what I talk about with comfort, because we've attached ourselves to situations and people for so long. and we've made life decisions within these situations. It traps us. So we feel an obligation to endure whatever may come with it. But no, this is a big one right here, because once you come to a realization, once you have a light bulb effect about the things that's been going on around you, with the people around you, there's no going back. There is no going back. You can only go forward. And if you stand still in it, you're going to hurt even more. You got to be able to let it go. No matter what it may seem like, no matter what it may feel like, no matter what it may, having the fear of what tomorrow may look like. See, the answers come after you do what is necessary now. Freedom comes after you do what is necessary right now. See, the Almighty is trying to place in balance. And when you interfere with balance, you're keeping everything out of balance. Your existence is not determined by helping those who hinder themselves. Your existence is only determined by how you help yourself. Everyone has to be accountable for self, especially those who are fully capable. And when you interfere with the accountability of someone else, you're keeping things out of balance. Queen Lisa, thank you for coming through, Queen. Yes, peace and blessings to everyone. I get into these messages, y'all. I'm growing. I'm growing. You know, I've always been in the mindset of, I can handle it. I can take care of this. I can take care of that. I can do this. I can do that. And so if anybody comes around in my life, as far as friendships and relationships, they've always, if they had situations or if they had problems, whether it be that they caused it upon themselves or not, because I felt like I cared, I've always, let me stretch my hand out. Let me do this. Never realizing that I've been portrayed as the abused wife. That I'm being treated as, the one that can take on all the burdens and nobody has to be accountable for themselves. I've been interfering with lessons and consequences for my loved ones, or the ones I call loved ones, right? And we walk around all the time thinking that this is having a heart, and it's not. That's not what a heart is. A heart is understanding that the very lessons that you had to stand and be accountable for is the same thing that everybody else has to as well. And if you really care for someone, you'd allow them to learn their lesson, to endure their consequences, so that they can become greater, so that you can also be able to be free to stand in your own victory. My lessons that I've learned is not for me to go and hold somebody's hand through their lesson. Yes, Lisa Queen, accountability. You know, I think it's like the statement, teaching a man how to fish. You know, as long as you're providing the fish and they don't have to learn how to fish, right? But as soon as you stop providing the fish, they start to starve, because the whole time we've been misconstruing the understanding of love. Love is not to just give them the fish. Love is teaching them how to fish so that they can be able to be accountable for themselves, so that they can be able to fish for themselves. And once you stop giving them the fish, then they're going to be looking at you like, what's wrong with you? Why you not giving me my fish? But it was never your duty to provide that fish to them in the first place. But they knew that just as much as you did. And that's why you weren't able to get to your blessings. And that's why they not able to accept their consequences for refusing to learn how to fish. I've become more selfish with myself lately, and I've been feeling so much better. And not to say that I haven't been, trying to help people learn how to fish. It's just that, once they see that you even consider teaching them how to fish, you got some people who just they want to make it seem as if it's so hard, it's so challenging. And eventually, I would cave in and say, well, here you go, I got you, don't even worry about it, not realizing that they're going to continue to use that. And then after a while, they start to throw away the fish in your face like it's nothing. And then they come to you and say, well, get me another one. Now, how dare I go and fish for go and get another fish for you, and I just saw you throw that one in the trash. I just saw you throw it in the trash. But see, that's what abuse is. They did something wrong. They know they did something wrong. And while you go get that other fish for them, they say, oh, well, thank you, I understand, I ain't gonna do that no more. You right. And I learned. And now I want to learn how to fish now. You know what I'm saying? No. No. When you see them throw that fish in the trash, they've showed you their ungratefulness. They showed you how much they did not care about you. They showed you how much they were using you. So you need to walk away. And if the consequence is starvation, then that is the consequence that they must endure on their own. And because you love them, you know that either they're going to sink or swim. Either they're going to figure it out, or they're going to starve. But that has nothing to do with you. Chrissy Love, thank you for coming through, Queen. Self-love. Yes, self-deflection and boundaries. Exactly. Yes. It's a powerful feeling. It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing to be able to know if I am accountable for myself, then I know that everyone around me can be accountable for themselves as well. And the moment that you are not accountable for yourself, that is not my fault, because my life has provided so much accountability that anybody could have taken an example of. And because of your refusal You you have no choice. It sucks, but it is so. I've had plenty of nights where I've had to be there for myself. Plenty of days where I've had to be there for myself. Plenty of times when I've had to make nothing out of something. And so what that lets me know is that if it is possible for me, it is possible for everyone else. Lisa says, I was in a 13-year narcissistic abusive relationship, and I'm thankful God moved that demonic being out of my life. I'm 4 years free. Congratulations, Queen. Congratulations. And I mean that sincerely. Let me tell you. I don't know if y'all seen this movie. It's a TV series actually on Netflix. And it's called, I want to say The Maid or something like that. I might do a review on it. But I relate to that TV series so bad, you know. Um, never quite understanding what narcissistic abuse was. I've endured it for a long time in my life from a lot of different scenarios, which is crazy, but it's true because when you become a victim, you start to, a lot of the abusive traits of people, they start to attract to you, right? And in this journey right here, my counseling and loving on self, thank you. Yes, Queen. Yes. In this journey right here, I feel as if I've been able to break that off of me. I'm no longer taking these forms of abuse because I'm deserving of myself. I know my worth, you know what I'm saying? And I'm no longer in the season of trying to prove my worth to anyone, because if you can't see my worth, then it's not meant for you to see. I see it. I'm not begging you to see it. I'm not begging you to understand it. I'm not begging you to be around it. Narcissistic abuse, or any form of abuse, whatever abuse. People have many ways of calling it. Demonic abuse. All of these, things, they attach themselves to you because, the greatness in you, they never want you to have it. They never want you to see it for yourself, or whatever you may have, accomplished for yourself. They want to reap the benefits for it. They don't want, these spirits, they want to make things so much harder for you. What Lauryn Hill song say? It could all be so simple. Play the game, but you'd rather make it hard. It's so simple. But everything around you that is not meant to be around you makes it a challenge. And it's not a challenge because they lack the understanding. It's a challenge because they don't want you to have it. It's a challenge because they want it from you as well. And they'll do anything to be a part of it, even if they know that them being a part of it is the reason why you're suffering in it. They don't care. It doesn't care. It won't care. And if you're not wise, you're going to allow it to drain all of the care out of you. And so the very things that you should be proud of, that you've earned, you know that you should enjoy, you won't enjoy it. Not to the full extent. You won't be able to fully grasp what it is that you've worked so hard for, because you got this all around you and you're refusing to let it go. Yes. Yes, they are vampires. I've been able to come into some very great people in my life, starting my YouTube channel, and it helped me to rediscover, you know, the way that I felt about people, because without being on the internet, you know, everyone around can seem so cold and just, um, they just don't care. I found some great people on this here internet, and I keep them dear to my heart. I really do, forever. Y'all know, y'all know my Queen Critical. That's the one for me right there. You know, um, yes, they are jealous of you. And jealousy, envy, all of these things, and the main reason why is because they're refusing to see the greatness within themselves. See, the greatness that we have poured out unto ourselves and all of the benefits that is manifested into our lives is because of what we have seen in ourselves. So when you have people who are not seeing that within themselves, they try to attach to you or they try to sabotage it from you because they haven't taken the time to see their own greatness. They haven't taken the time to let their greatness manifest into their existence. See, when I look at jealousy or envy or any of these terms from other people, I don't see it so much as an attack. I see it as a form of they yearn to understand how to get that very thing for themselves without necessarily understanding that it's possible for them to get those things for themselves, if that makes sense. You have to be able to figure out what it is within yourself. People will look at your light and they'll say, "Oh, that light's so bright and pretty. I want it. I want it. I want it." And they never even considered that they have a light that's bright and pretty as well. They never even took the time to say, "Well, I wonder if I have a light. I wonder if, my light can shine just as prettier or maybe even prettier." Yeah, take all the energy out of you. Bad energy, yes. They do it. And see, with us being able to shine our lights, because of all of the attacks, because of all of the abuse, maybe if I dim it just a little bit, or maybe if I just tone it down just a little bit, or maybe if I share it, you know what I'm saying, then maybe it'll stop. No, it doesn't stop. That's not how it works. Everybody has to find their own accountability of self. They have to look within themselves and figure out what it is about themselves that they are supposed to be here to bring out. You dimming your light is only hurting you. That's the abuse. That is the abuse. And it's never going to be enough for them. They're never going to be satisfied. You have to find that understanding and gain strength in knowing that me caring about the suffrage of someone who is causing suffrage to you or to myself, that is not love, that is abuse. That is abuse. And so the chains that you felt so bound to, now you were never really bound. You've allowed something to convince you that you were. You're free. Now it done rained this entire time that I spoke, y'all. But I've been liking to do certain my content lately in the car, given this I'm traveling. So, we riding, you know, um, and that's how that's working. I'm in my journey. I'm in my spiritual path right now, trying to, you know, get to a destination. And so I've been coming in the car and it's been raining. My entire, my entire discussion today. Most people who are like them don't believe in a higher power. And that's okay, because what they have, whatever they don't know or whatever they don't understand, or even if they don't even know that they're supposed to learn this, that is something that they have to deal with. It is not our duty to help them figure that out. Lisa says, real talk, my mom is a full narcissist and she never knew that until I asked her to go seek therapy. Sometimes it is that. Sometimes, with the topic of narcissistic abuse, a lot of narcissists may not understand that they're narcissists until they get the counseling. Some of them may refuse it, or some of them may actually come to terms and understand that they're narcissistic. A lot of people look at narcissists, let me just clarify this, as monsters, right? Some narcissists aren't always necessarily bad people. I know people like, huh? Yeah, no, we know a lot of bad people that got a lot of heavy narcissistic traits, right? But it's some narcissists who are the greatest enablers of love, if that makes sense. Because in their narcissistic mind, that is how they're supposed to that's how they identify socializing, or a form of relationship or understanding with people. And it's quite abusive, it really is. But that doesn't mean that they're like, bad, I'm coming to destroy you. That's not necessarily their intent, right? But it is destructive. It does destroy you, and they do need help. So there's many forms of narcissism. So, the popular thought of narcissism, we got to stop looking at all of them as just, this just red demon with bull horns, because some of them are actually, um, they seem like the sweetest things in the world, and then surprisingly they're not, because they're really hurting you. They're really crushing you with their what they feel is affection. It's weird, but we can talk about narcissism too. Lisa says she doing better and admitting the bad abusive towards me. That is healing. That is powerful. And I do think that narcissism or narcissistic traits can be healed. I know a lot of people say that it can't be, or it's not very common, and I understand that, but I think it can be healed. But it's not our duty to do that. It's not our job. It is something that they have to do within themselves. It's definitely a practice, more so for some than others, but that's not something that we should have to endure because we understand these things about someone. Because what we're doing is we're punishing ourselves by doing this. We're hurting ourselves even further. And one thing about mental trauma can become very hard to heal from. So the more you're enduring from somebody that is hurting you, the harder the effect, and the harder it is for you to heal yourself. At 57, I'm finally getting the truth from her. Baby steps. Yes, Queen. Yes. We have to come to terms with it. It's the reality. You know, when we leave this realm, we leave by ourselves. When we come in this realm, we come in by ourselves. So this realm will have you feeling as if you have to be attached to these burdens, and you don't. You know, I always have this understanding of nobody owes me anything, and I don't owe anyone anything as well. It is not my duty to pause my life for somebody else's, especially if it's causing a hindrance on me, especially if it's being something that, if they're taking advantage of me, especially if I know that they don't care about what they're doing to me. Because if they cared, they wouldn't have done it. They have the same understanding as you. They have the same understanding as me. So why is it that you can do wrong and come and seem as if you're so apologetic? To seem as if you are so, understanding that you did wrong. You knew you did wrong when you did wrong. Period. I'm still protecting my peace at all costs. Now don't get it twisted. There's some people who do wrong and they don't mean to. It wasn't their intent. Those are good people. Those are good people. You want to know why? Because they are able to see and understand. Those are people you don't walk away from. But you have people in your life who will repeatedly do things over and over and over in different forms or the same form or however the form may be. Those are the people who are showing you exactly how they feel about you. And those are the people that you need to walk away from. Yes, Miss Lisa, protect your peace. Because we have a lot of loved ones, and see a lot of, and I'll even speak on that, because trauma will have you feeling like you got to walk away from people who make mistakes. That's not true. You got to away from people who may have done something wrong, or you know what I'm saying? That's not true, y'all. It is some people out here who actually have good intentions for you. It is some people who genuinely care about you. And it is some people who can realize where things might have went wrong. Or they can realize where you went wrong, where they went wrong, and you both come to a grand understanding that it was a genuine mistake. It was a genuine lesson that was learned. And see, when the lesson is learned, that's how you know you have good people around you. And it doesn't take you having to cater to it. It doesn't take you having to pull or pry to it. It is a clear understanding that they understand. They got it. I like to do that a lot because I genuinely do care. And I know I'm not perfect. But this is how, that's how you care. Being able to see where you went wrong and being able to identify it and correct it and become better because of it. That makes you a good person. But when you have people who maliciously do things to you, those are the people that you have to get away from. When you have people who repeatedly do things to you, those are the people that you have to get away from. There's a difference, y'all. Okay? I just wanted to speak on that. Lisa said the crazy thing, she was around a lot of narcissists, but it wasn't a name for that back in her days. She's 75 years old now. Yes. And this world can definitely create narcissistic traits heavy. We live in a very competitive world. We live in a world where, we have to be, where, selfishness, it's an unhealthy form of selfishness. It's a greedy outlook, if that makes sense. Um, and it can take an effect. It's so much division everywhere. Um, it's a separation thing that causes a lot of narcissistic traits. For a lot of people with narcissistic traits, they have the lowest self-esteem. They have the lowest form of self-esteem that you can find. They really cannot see the possibilities within themselves. They really can't. It's really sad. Their depressive state, that's basically what narcissism is. They don't see good things within themselves. And so you got some narcissists who will find ways to beat you out of seeing the positive in yourself, or you have some narcissists who will overlove you because they feel as if that's what, it's like a act or something, as if that was something that, they think you're supposed to do even if you don't feel it. Lisa says that chain has been broken. I'm definitely an empath. I had to learn that. I'm in counseling. Most definitely. Counseling is a beautiful thing. Counseling is necessary. You know, um, we all deserve, um, a true chance at, our greatest potential, you know, and when we find those around us who may not have that, or who may not who may want to, who try to attach themselves to us because of it, um it hurts to, to set a boundary on them because you care, right? But in all reality, it's necessary, because whatever it is that they have to do to figure it out, it has nothing to do with you. Everything is from within. And that's the honest truth. They have to figure it out on their own. And some people have to figure it out from nothing. A lot of us figure it out from nothing. Just like Miss Lisa said, back then they didn't even know the term narcissist, right? It wasn't a popular term. A lot of people have to learn from nothing. Some people are willing to learn from past experiences, from history, from other examples, from people in their lives, testimonies and things of the sort. And some people can hear those very things and it doesn't even flick the light bulb. And that's okay, because that's something that they have to learn within themselves. To truly care about somebody, you have to be able to let them be accountable of themselves, in good and in bad. A mama bird cannot fly her birds around forever. They're going to have to get out of that nest and learn on their own. And they may fall. And it may hurt. But they have to learn. And that's love. That is love. And so that's what I'm doing with myself, I'm no longer taking on the responsibility of trying to carry everybody with me. You know what I'm saying? Or, trying to keep focus on these obligations that I've allowed myself to agree to, stay in the nest looking, yes, Pearly Queen. Some stay in the nest looking crazy because they looking for somebody to fly for them. And they got to fly on their own. And if you don't get out of the way of them learning how to fly, you know what I'm saying? You're only suffering for yourself, because now you got to go get their worms for them to eat. Now you got to go and find all the straws to recreate the nest and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you refusing to let them fly and be independent, whether it be hard for them or not. It is never caring to continue to enable someone that is clearly sabotaging you. And that's what I have learned from myself. And I love it. And I done did my hour, y'all. And and I don't be looking at the time, but I don't really be I don't I'm getting used to being able to speak in front of people. I usually keep my thoughts to myself, and I've been doing that for a long time, but I think it's time for me to kind of, share some of the wisdom that I have for myself, and in hopes of helping somebody else. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm being authentically me. And if it makes anybody feel uncomfortable, that's not my intent. I just feel good being myself. I feel good being, just being a lovely little butterfly with a whole lot of wisdom, you know. And I appreciate everybody that comes around and, um, you know, allow me to be that. It really means a lot to me because I used to hold that inside of me and not necessarily show it. But I'm free now. I'm okay to be me. And if anybody feels like, it's wrong for me to be, this lovely little butterfly that I am choosing to be, then, they won't be around. And I'm okay with that. And I accept everyone that is around. And I love everyone that is around and accepting me for me. No longer trying to prove who I am to anybody else. Because I just got out of that situation of trying to, come on, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, until it ends up being, I'm tired. I can't. I'm drained. And so I'm gaining all my energy back. And I'm going to fly for myself. I'm going to fly. Kim Covey, thank you for coming through. Thank you so much, Chrissy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all so much. And I feel good. I'm getting better and better and better and better. And all you're going to get from me is better and better and better and better. And if you ready for the ride, and stick around, because I got a lot to show. Peace and blessings to all of y'all beautiful people. I'll talk to y'all soon.